You know, in some of my videos, I tend to catch flack for my Brock Besser takes. And to some degree, I understand why. There are flaws in Brock Besser's game. Like, he does struggle to skate. That's an important thing. You need to be able to skate properly. But I just think that when you have a good player, you genuinely do just need to keep them. I know that's not that hot of a take. Like, maybe you might say, hey, maybe making a move makes sense, but I just don't really honestly think so. I really, really don't. I think when you have a top 6 player in his prime, it makes sense most of the time to keep them. This is why I'm an advocate of the Maple Leafs, for example, keeping Mitch Marner. Like, I understand the hunger for Leafs to change. I mean, I totally get that. But at the same time, it's like, geez, are you really going to get rid of a top 6 player like that? And then how is that going to make your team better? Unless you have a possibility of a player that you know you're going to get back that is better than the player that you are giving up. Do you understand what I mean? So if it's possible that you're getting a better player, I don't really have a problem with that, but I don't really see a solution for the Vancouver Canucks. This is a player that scores 30 to 40 goals a year, and we've been having up to the trade deadline and the deadline just constant different information for what might happen with Brock Besser. Now, I don't know how you guys are exactly going to be able to take this news from the Vancouver Canucks, but I do have it right here, updated news from Pierre LeBrun, insider Pierre LeBrun. So essentially, he is saying that there is dialogue between the two camps, which I think is good. Now, it was kind of weird, though, because Pierre LeBrun essentially was like, that is normal, so he didn't really sound like it was, game-changing stuff or that signing rumors were heating up. Now, we know that Brock Besser wants about 8.25 to 8.25, possibly even 8.5 million. I have argued for a long time with the cap going up, that's actually not that bad. I understand he has skating issues, but he's already proven that he can play at an NHL level. He can score 30 to 40 goals. His defensive play, in my opinion, at least has improved. I think that he has actually earned that amount of money. And I always encourage my followers to not necessarily look at the cap hit that the player is getting, but I encourage them to look at, okay, so what percentage of the cap is he getting? Right? Like it doesn't matter if the cap goes up for the next 3 years and the percentage of the cap actually could go down as opposed to what he's getting paid right now. That's the whole point that I'm trying to make to people. Here's the thing. Brock Besser signed a 3-year contract at $6.65 million. He honestly only wants like a $1.5 to $1.8 million raise. And that's with the cap going up. Now, I want to preface this with saying that rumor came out, I believe, before we knew that the cap was going to go up to about 100 million. Just to be fair. So maybe his ask has gotten outrageous. I've remained consistent with my analysis on this, that I do believe that if he is asking for like 10 million, absolutely I would completely walk on him. So I'm not saying you should pay the guy whatever. I just really don't think that his original ask is really that outrageous. Now, in this article, it is saying that LeBrun did not say that Besser is ready to make a move or looking for a trade. But the NHL insider suggested that everyone should be ready for that as a possibility. Okay, so right off of the bat, that sounds like he kind of is leaning that they might trade him. Now, if you do trade him, you better get a good amount. I mean, again, I still think the Vancouver Canucks are going to make the playoffs. I understand anything, and when you make the playoffs, anything can happen. You have to understand that. Anything can happen. It doesn't mean that you just willy-nilly. I mean, if you made the playoffs, you have to take that serious. Vancouver Canucks fans deserve for you to take that serious. LeBrun continues that he wasn't sure if a deal would get done before next Friday, which would put the Canucks in a tough position. They don't want to lose the player for nothing in the summer, which means a trade seems likely. Okay, that's pretty spicy. The ending of what Pierre LeBrun was talking there is actually pretty spicy. If you think you're going to lose him for nothing, then yes. Here's the thing. We always get a pieces and bits of information from NHL insiders, and I'm always sitting here saying, okay, I would really like to know exactly what's going on there. what is on the table right now? You see that's the same thing with the Leafs with Mitch Marner. We don't even know whether they've even exchanged numbers, right? They're alluding that they haven't even exchanged numbers. Like, just make the kid an offer. If you're willing to pay him 8, you pay him 8. If you're not, you have to look for a trade. And I think the Canucks should get something back. The problem with this is, though, he wants to go to unrestricted free agency, which means the Canucks are not going to get a lot. If you trade Brock Besser, I want Canucks fans to be mentally prepared for the fact that, like, you're not going to get a lot for him, unfortunately. Like, this is one thing that's obviously going to be really frustrating, is that I hate letting go top 6 top players and your return is just garbage. We see it happen because obviously the other team that is acquiring him wants more. I mean, I would love to see the Leafs get him if he was a center, but, you know, alas. Now, question of the video that I want to ask you guys, what exactly would you do in this situation? Would you just let him walk? Would you go on a playoff run and you would just let Brock Besser walk? I'm not really that big of a fan of letting players walk. I really don't like that. What do you think about that? Would you trade him? That's another possibility. What exactly would you do? Or would you just say, hey, pay the man? Listen, for me, I like Brock Besser. I would consider just paying the man. Maybe I have a little bit of a soft spot for Brock Besser, though. But anyways, tell me what you think about that. Also, to finish this off, Frank Cervelli did have a new rumor as well that actually came out a couple of hours ago, that Cervelli says that the Canucks are to make one more offer to Brock Besser, and the previous offer was 5 years. That's actually kind of interesting, because does that mean, I guess, that they're not willing to give him a max deal? Like, could that be the issue, that Brock Besser wants a max deal, and perhaps the Canucks aren't willing to give him that max deal? I don't know. He's in his 20s for me. I think the Vancouver Canucks are a good team. I think that they're growing the right way. I understand they've had some weird things. Elias Pettersson has been not that good this year. Anyways, I would just probably pay the man. I would make him a serious offer, in my opinion. I hope it works out with the Vancouver Canucks. Anyways, I am going to leave this video here. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. And make sure to have a great day, guys. Goodbye.